she didn't make it. Yeah. So Joel's still at the hospital, but the other person involved didn't make it.
On October 21st, 2021, what should have been an ordinary rehearsal on a movie set turned into one of the most shocking tragedies in Hollywood history. A prop gun fired. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally wounded, and director Joel Souza was injured. Within hours, actor Alec Baldwin found himself sitting inside a sheriff's office, answering questions about an event that would dominate headlines around the world. What did he say? How did investigators reconstruct what happened? And what can his interview tell us about those first critical hours after the shooting? In this episode of Series Interrogations, we'll examine Alec Baldwin's official police interview, the timeline of events, and the evidence that shaped one of the most controversial investigations in recent years.
Yes. Either of those chairs. I thought he was coming with you, so yes. Not. I'm Alex. I'm one of the detectives on the case. And can we get you coffee or anything? Water, you good? Okay. We'll be in here in just a minute. Okay.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, where are the kids?
They're sleeping.
The boys are
I'm
sleeping?
just awake. Yeah. I'm just so
Did she tell you what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince her to come. I think we should come. And just spend the time here, and they're going to do what they got to do with and deal with what they got to deal with. And we shouldn't let it. We'll go. We'll go. I won't work, and we'll go enjoy ourselves. It's all paid for, and they're not going to give us the money back.
And we should be staying away from the vultures here.
Are they outside?
No, but I imagine they will be at some point. They're
I
going
think
to
it's a
find
great
out.
idea.
Been out.
It's a great idea. You should come for that reason also. All right, I'll call Carmen on her iPad. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's on her phone. I'm very sorry, actually.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea how unbelievable this is and how strange this is. And I'll explain to you later.
Sorry, you're in this position.
No, it's just.
I hope everyone's okay and that you're okay.
I'll call you back. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Samantha. So, in the way you're here, for this incident that was unfortunate earlier. Can I copy page?
Yeah.
I know you already agreed to talk to us and everything, and that's great. We're just going to go over the rights. She's going to read these to you. As you understand them, and just sign an initial, and then if you read the bottom and agree to talk to us,
Initial
sign.
each of them.
As you understand them, yes.
Yeah, so first one, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court or other proceedings. You have the right to consult with an attorney before making any statement or answering any questions, and you may have him or her present with you during questioning. You may have an attorney appointed to you to represent you if you cannot afford one or otherwise obtain one. If you decide to answer any questions now with or without a lawyer, you have the right to stop questioning at any time or to stop questioning for the purpose of consulting a lawyer.
So my only question is, am I being charged with something?
No, we're just reviewing.
I thought that's what that's all I can.
But
I'm not worried because I'm not, yeah.
We
But
have to
you're
do
charging
our
me with
job
something.
at
Yeah, no, just tell me that.
advising you
You
your
want me
rights
to write my
because
name here?
this is an investigation.
Yeah.
Just a formality. You have to
Don't
do
worry.
it. You're here.
You
We
do
appreciate
whatever
it.
you want to do. What is today?
It is the 21st of October.
Oh.
Long day?
Well, what's interesting, not to digress on some commentary here, is that we've done this for 2 weeks and we did it the right way every day. Every day. You're on a set, you rehearse, they bring you what's called a cold gun. The gun is either completely empty, the chambers, or there is a cosmetic piece So, for example, if you're the camera, and this is going to sound silly and specific, but if I'm pointing a gun close to the camera, you want to see into the cylinder that there's material in there, cosmetic material. So those rounds are cosmetic rounds. They put them in, and you rehearse, or even in a shot when you don't fire. I pull the gun up, and you see there's some material inside the cylinder. They'd hand me a cold gun, no charges. They always hand you a cold gun with nothing in it to rehearse. And then, when you shoot, and if you are shooting loads that are flash loads, and they're usually in 3 denominations, quarter, half, or full load rounds, so that the flash is bright, and the sound is loud, louder, loudest. Full load is loudest. So if you're outside, you want a full load, bang, you want a loud sound. If you're inside, you can do a quarter load. Right before you shoot, everyone preps, crew puts the earplugs in, some put headphones on, the camera's there, very often there's a loose tight screen, but you're the camera operator and there's the camera, so I should always shoot off camera, you never shoot into the lens, and you shoot, and there's a flash and a sound. Now, I went to lunch, she disarmed me, I sat down.
She being?
Hannah, the armaments person. She was always handling the guns, 99% of the time. So I would, if I had a cosmetic rifle with no rounds, I'd hand it to one of her assistants. I'm sitting there, she disarms me, we go to lunch, we come back from lunch, and they hand me the revolver, the Colt.
And I just like the name, it's Hannah again.
They arm me, and you're assuming, as we've done every time, that it's a cold gun for the rehearsal. And I put the gag in the shot, you're the camera, because I have a coat, and I have a holster, and I pull the coat over, and I kind of cup my hands like I folded my hands. And then I'm going to slowly sneak the revolver, the Colt out, and turn and shoot these other guys, or try to shoot them. I take the coat over the thing, the camera's there. I believe, my recollection is she was there, turned a bit, like talking to him. So I think she was hitting the right armpit. But this is all I know, and that is that I take the gun out in the rehearsal. Really, he wants it very dramatic and very slow. I'm trying to sneak up on them. I take the gun out, and as it clears, as the barrel clears the hole, turn and cock the gun in rehearsal. I turn and cock the gun goes off. It's supposed to be a cold gun. Nothing. No flash charges, nothing. Now, this is a puzzle to me. This is making me very emotional now, but in my time, and I'm older now, but when I was younger and I was shooting guns in films, I've never seen a theatrical flash round where the material went through someone's armpit, came out their body, and hit somebody else in the shoulder. I'm wondering if your department is prepared to go find out what comes out of his shoulder surgically. Is that a live round?
At this moment, Baldwin stops giving short answers and begins replaying the event step by step. He describes the camera's position, how he moved his coat, where the gun was, and where he remembers everyone standing. This kind of detailed reconstruction often happens when someone is mentally reliving a highly stressful moment. Notice how often he says, "I think," "I believe," and "my recollection is." Rather than claiming certainty, he's separating what he clearly remembers from what he's still trying to piece together. Then his tone shifts. The technical explanation fades, and emotion takes over, as he admits the incident is making me very emotional. Finally, he asks investigators whether a live round could have been recovered, revealing that he's no longer just answering questions. He's searching for an explanation himself. That transition makes this one of the most revealing moments of the interview.
That's what we are actually looking at.
Is that a lot? Because it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah.
It hits her in the armpit, comes out her shoulder, goes into his shoulder, and he just told me on the phone, I talked to Joel. He said they showed me the x-ray, and the shape of the thing in my shoulder is the shape of a bullet. Now, all the rounds, I was told, you need to verify, I think this is important, they take the gun, they enter and all the rounds that are in there were either dummy rounds, no flash, cold rounds, or rounds with a flash. In the rehearsal, there should have been nothing. It should have been a cold gun with no rounds inside, or dummy rounds, cosmetic rounds, no flash. I take the gun out slowly, I turn, I cock the pistol, bang, it goes off, she hits the ground, she goes down. He goes down, screaming. He's like, Jesus Christ, and I'm going, and I thought that maybe sometimes the wadding can come out if you're close enough to get a burn. 2 actors who killed themselves with guns, with theatrical guns, John Eric Hexum and Brandon Lee, they put the live round in, and I'm told even with the flash powder, you can cause contusions and you can do a brain bleed and die, which both of them died.
Right.
I think with Brandon Lee, there was a piece of material lodged in the thing that shot from or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember vividly, but my point is, I've been doing this, I shot enough guns in my day in movies, I've never seen this before, where a flash round, but from my understanding is, may I borrow your pen for a minute?
Of course, you could even borrow
My understanding is that in a bullet, you know, here's the thing with the pin, and here's the bullet itself, and now here, when you have a cosmetic round, no flash, no nothing, they drill a hole in the side of the brass to signify that it's a cosmetic round. There's nothing in there. There's no powder. But when you have a flash round, and there's stuff in there, wadding and powder to make the charge. This material here, that is the bullet, is made of a clay or some material that just disintegrates. So what you have is bang, and you see the flash go bang, and you get a sound, but nothing. There's no projectile.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm curious about is what came out of that bullet that went through her body and into his shoulder.
That's pretty powerful.
I've never heard of it. Now, some people say you can lodge material in the barrel accidentally, a rock, something, that happens. Which is why every time we've done this, I'm here to tell you, to testify that every time we've done this, she's done it right. She cleaned the barrel, made sure nothing was lodged in there. We went hot when they were ready. You always announce, going hot. Crew gets ready. And then all of a sudden, you're the camera, and I shoot away from you. I sit there and like, bang, 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 and flashes are coming out. We shoot the rounds. She cleans the barrel every time, and she checks that the rounds are all cosmetic rounds, or nothing in the chamber for the rehearsal. She hands me the gun. I'm assuming she's done it the right way. She's done it the last 2 weeks. I put it in the holster. I pull it out slow. We're rehearsing. We're not filming anything. I pull it out slow, turn, cock the pistol, bang, it goes off, and she hits the ground. And then he starts screaming. And I'm thinking, in a flash round, I could see maybe if there was wadding or there's some stuff like that's hot, and maybe it hits you and burns you. As they say, sometimes that happens. But remember, we're rehearsing, so no one's protected.
So it's all supposed to be this one, cosmetic one.
Or nothing.
Or nothing.
For the rehearsal, the gun is normally empty.
Mm.
But my point is that they were standing in positions they wouldn't ordinarily be in, because they assumed it was an empty, cold gun. We weren't shooting, we were rehearsing. That's a vital difference. So if she's here, if the camera's here, and she's standing here talking to the gun, and I'm on a bench here, and Joel's behind her, and this is not proportionate, because obviously the camera's not as big as her body, but I draw the gun slowly and aim off camera, and there's supposed to be nothing in there. So she's not protecting herself and standing off. I'm shooting in a direction, and everybody is supposed to be to that side of the camera. There's nobody in my line. Nobody. And so when I shoot the gun, so in the rehearsal, I'm assuming I have an empty gun, and the gun goes off, she's right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
She's as far from me as I am from, difference between maybe you and the door.
Okay. So pretty close proximity.
It was a very tight shot.
Okay.
The shot was here, of me, not of me, it's of me pulling the gun slowly, turn cock.
Okay.
And she's right there, vulnerable, in a position she wouldn't ordinarily be if we were shooting, and this thing, boom, she hits the ground.
Okay. All right, I'm going to back you up just a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
How long have you been on set?
I arrived Monday the 11th.
Okay.
And started my fittings, and they were shooting the week before.
And the 11th of October?
Monday the 11th, I flew in from New York. I flew from New York to Denver to Albuquerque, because there's no direct flights here, and then drove from Albuquerque to here, rehearsed and fitted, and did all my preparatory stuff.
But that was in October, correct?
That was Tuesday the 12th, yeah. I flew on the 11th, rehearsed on the 12th, started shooting the 13th, Wednesday the 13th, I started shooting.
Okay.
We shoot a Wednesday through Sunday schedule. We're off Monday, Tuesday.
So the entire time you've been on set, have you seen the same armorer?
And her crew, yeah. Everybody.
How many people are on her crew?
My guess is that what I witnessed is 3.
Okay.
All young women. Hannah, and 2 other women.
All right.
And very often they're tasked with me, because we're not shooting every day, guns, there's no armaments every day. They dress me with my holster, my knife. The film is set in 1888, so I'm armed with the classic weaponry of the cowboy era.
Okay.
And so they would make sure I was dressed properly. 85% of their task is to make sure I'm dressed with everything properly.
The armorers?
The armorers,
Or just...
well, the armorers, wardrobe doesn't necessarily, they sometimes trade back and forth, but wardrobe doesn't necessarily deal with my holster.
Okay.
And the knife, but that's a prop. The armorer, Hannah, and her team, they dealt with me being knifed and that being lashed properly, so it looks proper,
Okay.
and the holster.
Okay.
So it was
And...
wardrobe as much as it was props, as much as it was armaments.
Okay. Do you know Hannah's last name?
No.
Do you know what she looks like? Or can you
Yeah,
describe what she looks like?
multicolored hair, glasses, not too tall. Everyone knows her pretty well because her father is a very famous armaments guy. He's a guy that did guns in movies for decades. He's very well known.
Okay.
She's the daughter of this famous gun guy, movie gun guy.
And what about the other girls in her crew?
I don't remember their names.
Okay. Do you know what they look like?
A blonde, thin, not too short, kind of medium height, and brunette, someone on the shorter side, maybe the same height as Hannah, brunette, and also there's you go back and forth between, they're wearing a mask most of the time on set. They've been ordered to do that. But I've seen them with their masks off.
Okay. All right. What time did you guys start today?
I don't know what time they started. I came in slightly later because they had a couple of shots without me in the morning, so I came in at, I guess I arrived there at like about 7:45.
Okay.
Normally I'm there at like 6:30.
All right. And then anything abnormal in the day? Who handed you your weapon in the day?
Hannah.
Handed it. Okay. And physically handed or put it in the holster?
Handed it to me.
Okay.
She would show me the gun.
Okay.
Or she'd say, cold gun. She'd say, test it, or some language to indicate, she handed me the gun, that it was fine. And she'd say, do you want to check?
Okay.
And I always didn't want to insult her. I said, because we never had a problem.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm good. So, and the first AD very often will ask, periodically, he'll say, let me check.
Okay.
And they'll have 2 people check, for this very reason, that we don't have any, forget about live rounds of bullets, that we have any flash rounds in the gun while we're rehearsing. Because if someone wants to indicate, and they're not thinking, they pull the trigger on the gun, you just hear the hammer, the dead sound of the hammer hitting, and you have no flash rounds at all in there for the rehearsal. The rehearsal gun should be empty.
Okay.
And as I said, for the 2 weeks I've been shooting, it has been empty. We haven't had one problem.
And you have you physically checked that, or just by her telling
She
you?
announces to me that it's clean.
Okay.
She'll say, cold gun, we rehearse. Then when she's done, she takes the gun, goes off to a corner. She has a kit, like a zip fanny pack, with her elements in there. She puts the flash rounds in there. She'll say, quarter load, but it's a lower sound. Or she'll say full load. And if I'm shooting, if you're the crew and you're shooting me close, even if I say the full load, it is rather loud. It's very loud.
Okay.
So she's always announcing what's going to happen.
All right.
And she's been very good about that.
So have you guys, backtracking a little bit on this, because she's telling you what's in these guns, have you guys been practicing with those quarter loads, the full loads, all that through the past couple weeks? Or have you shot with them?
I came in on Tuesday, that's what I did Tuesday,
Okay.
the 12th. I came to the ranch, rode the horse, I just got used to that, and because they have a double who really rides in the distance up really fast, and all the athleticism you see me on the horse, and they cut to a watch, and another guy riding was a little horseman.
Okay.
I get quite a crew of them.
So today was not the first day that...
No, I shot on Tuesday the 12th with the Henry, the lever, arm action lever, the lever action rifle,
Okay.
and the pistol. I just shot both.
Okay.
But she was there.
All right, moving back forward. What time did you guys break for lunch today?
Usually, I think today was probably 12:30.
Okay. And who took the weapon at that time?
Hannah
Physically took it?
always
from you?
does. Rarely do the other ladies, the 2 other women, handle the pistol that's live shooting in the scene. As I said, I have the Henry in my hand as a prop. I'd be running through the scene, but no bullets, nothing. When they say cut, I could hand it to the blonde girl.
Okay.
Again, but whenever we were interacting with somebody where rounds were going to go in the gun, you would have flash rounds in the scene. We shot flash rounds. It was only Hannah.
Okay.
Only. With her fanny pack with the rounds in there, her equipment.
Okay. Do you know what time you guys got back from lunch?
My guess is 1:30 by the time we all get back to the set up. There's a base camp, and there's the set. So we go to the base camp for lunch, and they always just drive back, get their wardrobe touched up, get their hair touched up and makeup, whatever it is, and then we're on set. About an hour before we go back on the set.
Okay. And was Hannah the one to physically hand you the gun at
Yes.
that point? Okay. During the time that you had it, was it ever handed off to anybody else?
No.
Okay. Did you see where she got the gun from?
No.
Okay.
She has a station somewhere with all her stuff.
Okay.
The elements and a gun and a couple different guns. Guns for the other actors, and so she has all the guns.
Is anybody else allowed in that area?
I don't know, but I know that on this, I've never seen anything that was out of the ordinary. She had like sometimes they have a cart, like almost like if you were using like a hospital catering, you know, there's like a big plastic tray, a dark plastic tray, 2 levels and wheels. I think that's what she has, but many of the departments have that, and on that tray would be her, or something like that. I don't recall what exactly hers was, but they have a station that they bring to the set for her to put all of her stuff, and if the weather is cooperative, and sometimes they put it under a tent if it looks like it might rain and rain and damage the property. But she has a little place she would go to, and I think she has a truck where she stores it. When they wrap, everything goes into a truck and she takes off with it. It's her responsibility to secure the prop weapons.
Everything in there.
Which are real guns. They're real guns.
Can you actually describe the gun to me?
It's a Colt, a period Colt. In our emails back and forth when we were prepping the film, she showed me just a couple different styles of guns. This is not a big budget movie, so we didn't have a lot of choices. You know, she showed you 3 or 4 choices. I said, give me the biggest gun you've got.
Okay.
And so I didn't. She showed me different guns by email and different knives by email, cruder knives that were made like someone fashioned the handle out of like elkhorn or things. I took a traditional knife, a leather strap, a handle. We went back and forth about the holster and the material, and we just had a relatively brief conversation. I'm having made a lot of movies, I know how not to stress them out about the budget. When she shows me something, I try to make that work. And so she showed me, I said, just give me the big Colt. We were done. And then on that Tuesday, the 12th, I came and shot that gun.
Okay. What color is it?
I believe it's a brown handle, because she showed me 2 of the larger Colts. One had a cherry-colored handle, and one had a brown handle, and I chose the brown handle.
You didn't want the cherry.
I could show you my emails and my phone. I didn't want the cherry. It was too shiny.
Ah, okay.
My character's a little bit in the retirement side of his career, so. He's a retired bank robber.
I'd say out in the Wild West cherry.
You need the gun to match.
Well, you always have people in films, I mean, they go to extensive, you wouldn't believe some films if they have the budget, the details you go into, of all the things you wear, jewelry, hats, watches, guns, cars. I mean, people sit down, I mean, I've made a lot of films, and the films that had bigger budgets, you could spend a whole week going to rehearsal, reading with the director. The writer goes and rewrites, they listen to how the dialogue sounds, and then once you're done rehearsing the text with the director, the producers, and the writer, when you're done reading, they'll go make amendments. When they hear it come out of your mouth, they go, let's change that line. The way Bob says that, and then they go, then you go right to wardrobe, props, you go do a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right, so you get back from lunch, get ready, she hands you the gun. Was this inside or outside?
We're inside the church set.
And was it the first rehearsal that the incident happened?
Yeah, I believe so, because we talked about, as we were going to lunch, we're always talking about what's next.
Okay.
So as we were rehearsing scenes, he said, now I want to do a scene where we've done other shots before lunch. He said, when we come back from lunch, we'll do this. And he said, wait, pull out, show me. Because I was showing you what I thought was the best angle, to see the glint of the gun under my coat. because you want the scene to work, the shot to work. So where the holster's here, if the gun is here, my coat comes around, and I held my hand like it was like I was just cupping my hands, like I was just resting.
Okay.
And I showed him in the rehearsal. So when we came back after lunch, we rehearsed for the camera, and I took the gun. I'm showing him. I'm going to go like this, like this, like this. Cock and turn. Bang! It went off. The first time.
Okay. So it was your.
It was the very first time that
lunch.
we were shooting that shot. That we were rehearsing for that shot.
Okay.
That camera shot.
And you may, if you don't know this thing, did you happen to see? So obviously you guys left from your upper shooting area to go have lunch, or did you eat lunch up there?
No, we always go back to the base camp for lunch.
Okay.
For the stage. Yeah,
Did the armorers, or did you see the armorers go down?
No.
No.
Nor would I.
Okay.
Well, once they're gone, I'm gone.
Okay.
Do people stay up on set, or does everybody go down?
Well, there are many people who will forego lunch.
Okay.
I take that back, not many. There are some who will forego lunch because they have work to do.
Okay.
Some will hold them a plate, they'll bring their own lunch. Many people, they make sacrifices because of their pride for their department.
Mm-hmm.
They may sit there and say, I think I need to paint that wall and touch up that wall. I think I need to distress those boots. They all have work to do. And very often, a small number of people will stay up top while we drive down from the set to the base camp. The caterer is there in need, but maybe a modest number of people stay up there.
Okay. All right. And then I just want to clarify, really, I know you were drawing something. All right. So when you had pulled out the gun, obviously you were not at the cameraman, but you had identified there were two people there. Can you tell me who those people were?
My recollection is that the operator was there. He's a Steadicam operator.
Okay.
He's a man who, there's either a camera on sticks that's stationary, or there's a man who operates the Steadicam that moves. The camera operator was there behind the camera, and she was to his right.
And who is she? That's the one I'm asking.
Helena, the cinematographer.
Okay.
The camera director.
And she was right next to the cameraman.
She was to his right, to my left.
And who was behind her?
Joel,
And he is...
the director of the movie.
Okay. Can you recall who exactly was inside at the time
No.
of the incident?
Or
anyone else?
Dave Halls,
Okay.
the first AD. He's in charge of the crew. The first assistant director is the man who's like the foreman of the set. He's in charge of all the grips, all the crew.
Okay.
Electric, cable.
Do you know
all
his
the
name?
furniture. Dave Halls.
Okay, that's Dave. Got it.
Dave Halls is always there. Helena, Joel, me, the operator, an assistant camera person, the script supervisor, a woman who sits in the corner in some strategic position to take notes on all the action of the take so you can match. If one day you're doing a scene, you sit there and go, what is your first name?
Samantha.
So they're like, Samantha, you know, it's really important that you and I get together and talk about that case. You drank, when did you, she makes notes, so we match every take. That's called continuity. That woman who does continuity, she's always there watching. She was in the room.
Okay.
She's an older woman, like in her 60s, maybe with, that colored blonde hair, maybe, or brown hair. But I forget her name now, but so there's a group of people that are always there for every shot, even if you're in a kind of a cramped interior. This set of this church is not large, so then the rest of the crew's outside. In that side was a limited number of people, maybe 8, 9, I don't remember. But I know that every time they do a shot, those people are always on the set. Camera, assistant camera, cinematographer, director, first AD, script.
Okay. So not too many.
Very few.
Do you think that any part of this incident that occurred was intentional?
Well, I can only say this, which is, and it was, to me, to place a bullet and position a bullet that is a live round, to make sure that that bullet is in the chamber, if I were to squeeze the trigger in a rehearsal, that bullet came out, someone has to have extraordinary access to that weaponry to do that. I can't imagine somebody walked around with a round that was a .45 caliber round. So you see, other people on the set were speculating that if it was a .45 caliber round, she'd be dead. It would have blown a big hole in her. And so we're wondering, was the projectile that went in or some foreign material stuck, and it was an accident, it was a flash round, and something came out of the barrel. They didn't check. They always check. But
to your experience with these armor...
I've never heard of anything like this in my life, ever.
Okay.
I've never heard of a projectile coming out of a prop gun that went through a person's body, regardless of her being a smaller woman. That the bullet went in here, I'm told, went in here, came out here, her shoulder or whatever, and went into his body. And I've never heard of that in my life. I don't know of any projectile in a gun, in a flash prop gun, that could accomplish that. Now, if somebody put a live round in there accidentally, see, a very important question for Hannah is, have you ever commingled live rounds with theatrical rounds in your kit? Because they're forbidden to do that.
Mm-hmm.
According to, I think, the union rules and the safety rules for all the unions, you're not allowed to do that because of the fear of what will happen that you commingle. So, whether someone accidentally, and I can't even imagine this, deliberately placed a live round in that gun, I've never heard of that in my life. And I don't know anything about what happened, but all I know is when I... See, the other thing about this is, in a live round, you'd have a recoil, usually. When I shot that gun and it went off, I didn't shoot it when it went off. I didn't intend for it for what happened to happen. When that happened I'm always told by people, because I'm not a gun person, I don't own a gun. They've always told me, they asked me to simulate the recoil. When I shoot the Colt, which is a big gun, 45 caliber bullet, they always teach me when we should go action. I go, get back here, boom, and they make me take my hand and go boom and have the kick, because there's no kick in a flash round.
Okay.
And when this happened, I don't recall there being any kick either. That's important.
Okay. Are you, I know you said you don't own a gun, but are you experienced with shooting guns?
Only as much as actors have to be experienced.
Okay, which is normally not really...
Well, I mean, like, if you do a movie, safety with weapons is primary. You go off with people, you go off with armaments people to ranges. I've gone to ranges in Arizona where we shot a lot of guns in a movie many years ago, and you go to a range and you shoot for a few hours, and they teach you how to shoot shotguns, Walther, different, little small guns, James Bond guns, big guns, Uzis, machine guns, whatever you're using, they make you go and rehearse for hours, like a whole day.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they're very safety conscious, as they have been here. They've been very safety conscious here throughout. That's what puzzles me.
Well,
We didn't have anything.
and I guess that's more like the question that I'm trying to get at is, do you think someone would deliberately do this?
I can't imagine who would.
Okay.
Now, people have said, that 6 people got fired from the crew yesterday because they said that the union, I don't want to get into a long diatribe about this, but the union, the International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE is their name. IATSE is the union that controls all the actors. The Directors Guild controls the director, the Screen Actors Guild, but all of the crew are controlled by a contract in which those people voted to go on strike against the major studios, the major networks, the major streaming services, but not the independent film community. In fact, the IATSE rep for the New Mexico contract, because every state has different contracts, was instructed by his bosses in LA. He said, don't go on strike. The strike is against the majors, not against the indie people. And in the indie films, there's 6 different tiers, I believe, in terms of the contract, how much they're paid.
Okay.
A bunch of people on the set walked off anyway, even though they were told not to strike. They struck, and they left.
And that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. That was their last day.
Yeah,
And the question becomes,
yeah.
Somebody said, would one of them do? I don't even know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, and I was because that was mentioned to me, is that it sounded like it was most of the camera crew that walked off set
Yes.
yesterday and quit, and maybe they got fired because they walked off. So the other thing is that the 2 major people, like you said, the director, those are the ones who got hurt. So with the camera crew and them quitting, and then your director getting injured, as well as Helena, you don't think there's anybody that had any anger towards them or anything that would want to...
I don't know the details. I know that one guy, whose name I'm forgetting, he was a very heavy-set guy.
Okay.
He was and lovely to me. And he walked up to me and he said, thank you for the things you posted on social media in support of the IATSE strike. And he said, I'd like to talk to you privately, because he said, because I've got some of my guys sleeping in their car.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the crew here, because they're shooting in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, or Albuquerque based, they live there. So the drive time, it's kind of common knowledge in the business that the unions in New Mexico signed very bad deals in order to attract movie shooting here. They wanted to grow the crew base here. So they signed a deal that wasn't a good deal, and that gave them a 60-mile commute radius. So that means if you live within 60 miles of the set,
Mm-hmm.
you come to work and you don't get paid any, you have to drive home, they don't hotel you. They don't know in New York it's 30 miles, and they have to put you up in a hotel and give you gas money, and there's a whole other complicated contract in the more expensive markets. Here, this guy was telling me, he turned to me and goes, my guys are sleeping in their car. Now, I went to the AD and the producers, and I asked him, what's up with that? He said, they knew what the contract was. We signed the IATSE contract in New Mexico. And then in the middle of shooting, they decided they wanted to rewrite their deal. They said, put us up in hotels. Now, if you put the camera crew up in a hotel, all the other crafts are going to ask you to put them in a hotel. We don't have the budget for that.
Hmm.
That could be $75,000, $80,000, you know what I mean?
Who was that man?
Oh.
The one you said that came
I forget,
up
like I said, I forget his name.
Okay.
But anybody there can tell you who the big heavyset guy was, who was on the crew that quit yesterday. He didn't come to work today.
Okay.
But my point is that if I'm standing there in a rehearsal, I'm thinking to myself, could someone actually believe that in a rehearsal I would actually aim the gun and hit those two people? That's far-fetched. Or do they want just somebody to get hit? Or, I keep telling myself, more likely, was it an accident? It was a large quarter load makes noise, but it's like kind of a puff compared. But a half load could shoot a projectile if something was stuck in the barrel. And like I said, the thing that is, I think, going to answer all your questions is, what's in Joel's shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a rock or is it a bullet?
I could actually show that to you.
What?
What was in his shoulder? We did
they take it out?
So you being on set for so many years, like you said, have you ever seen? You said you've never seen anything come out before.
I've never seen a projectile come out. No.
Right.
No.
But do you know what the bullets look like then?
Would it have looked something like this if anything did ever come out of something?
Okay. Okay.
So, let's backtrack a little bit.
Let me say this here.
Hold on.
That's a bullet. That's a bullet. So
Right.
as I suspected, somebody put a live round in the gun. If that's a bullet that was pulled out of his shoulder, then someone loaded a live round into the gun I was holding.
So now, let me ask you, did you see the rounds that were in the gun?
No.
Have you seen, throughout the whole time on set, have you seen what they look like?
I've watched her load and reload the gun many times.
Have you seen the bullets and stuff?
Well, meaning yes, meaning you see sometimes the head is the casing, and the head is a pinched, it almost looks like a dumpling. It's closed at the top, there is no piece. And you put the cosmetic round in when you know you're going to see. If I hold the gun, if I say to you, what is your first name again?
Alex.
If I say to you, Alex, don't you move a muscle, darling, I'm going to blow you. The camera shoots me. You want to see the material in the cylinder, the cosmetic, clay-based, non-bullet round.
So can you describe to me what those clay-based rounds look like?
They look like a bullet.
What colors?
They're gray. They look exactly like a bullet. Brass head and a brass base, packed with something, I'm assuming, and then the heads look like a bullet. So cosmetically, you see that in the cylinder. The other rounds you shoot have it's the base with the pin. This comes up, and this comes up, and it's a round like this. And if you look at the top, if you're looking down at the bullet, with not the pin down here, the top of it, if you look down, it's folded in almost like a like a dumpling.
Like a pinch.
Exactly, it's like a folded up thing, and the char and all that does is go boom.
So
There's no projectile there.
if I showed you a couple rounds, would you be able to tell me if they're the ones that look like they were on set?
Probably. I think I could probably tell you which were the rounds that were put in cosmetic,
Okay.
and which were the rounds that were the flash rounds.
All right.
Now, forgive me, because I'm very upset right now.
I know.
But you know what I'm saying, so please don't forgive my weirdness about this. That's what came out of Joel's shoulder.
Yes.
Joel.
Yes. And the reason why I was showing you, because you said you have experience, but you're saying when this does come out, it's supposed to just puff and not really be
usually,
a hard object.
if there's any chance that when you look at the gun, so here's the barrel, here's the sight, and the cylinders around it, and it has the holes.
Mm-hmm.
We're just looking at the gun, the camera's eye view.
Yeah.
When you look at the cosmetic rounds go in, they have no flash. But if you want to have cosmetic rounds that flash, if you want me to hold the gun, you see the bullets, and I shoot, that material is often a clay or, fabricated material that just disintegrates, just turns to powder.
And
the round that you put that you don't see, you're not seeing down the barrel, you're shooting, those are the flash rounds, which have the top that looks like it's like folded kind of things like this, where it looks like someone's packed it and closed it.
But specifically today was supposed to be either empty or the ones that don't even make anything.
Cold rounds.
So cold round, the one with the hole in it.
Yes.
And it's not supposed to puff up or powder off, like you said. Nothing.
Halls told me that when he checked the rounds with her, they had the holes in them. And sometimes he told me, when I wasn't familiar with this, they'll take the round, and if it's a cold round, it'll have the holes, and inside will be BBs, and you shake it.
Yeah.
When you shake the BB, it's an acoustic thing to tell you that's a cold round.
Okay, and that's what...
Inside this base is stuff that rattles, little BBs that rattle. So you pick your gun, that's a cold round that goes in the gun. Okay,
and that's what you were supposed to have today.
I was supposed to have an empty gun.
Empty?
Or when we shot, for the rehearsal, empty. And then when we shot, the flash rounds and everybody preps, and then she says, "Hot gun." She announces it, and the crew gets ready.
But you didn't even get to that part.
I rehearsed with a hot gun. Now.
But you were supposed to be cold.
Well, it was supposed to be cold or empty, but now, not only did I rehearse with a hot gun, I rehearsed with a gun that had a bullet inside. If that's what came out of your show, this is the most horrifying thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, and that's why I wanted to make sure that anytime that you've shot a hot gun, you've never seen anything like this come out before.
Never.
Because I'm not familiar with prop guns.
Never.
I could tell you what a projectile looks like, and that does look like a projectile.
That's a bullet.
Yeah, so that's what comes out of...
Well, I think the question, I don't want to tell you your job, but I'm so sickened by this, that a bullet passed through this girl's body. She's in critical condition in a hospital right now, and I fired the gun. And if you don't think I feel really, really shitty about that, I do, but the question becomes, if you ask Hannah, did you commingle live bullets? What they call live rounds. When they say live round, that's a bullet that a police officer would shoot. Where did that come from? In her kit?
Yeah.
She commingled live rounds with dummy rounds or movie rounds.
And we asked her that. Do you know where you guys get the rounds from, who orders it, or you don't have any part of any of that?
Who, me?
Yeah,
that's her. Yeah.
All familiar, okay.
All I know is when we come to the set, you hand me a cold gun, nothing's in it. We rehearse. Then we load the gun with the flash rounds and we shoot. That's it, every time. We've never had a problem.
You didn't even get to that second part of you'll hand it back. I do want to ask you about Dave Halls. I understand sometimes she'll hand the gun off to Dave Halls and then he'll hand it to you. Did that happen at this incident?
No. I don't recall him ever doing it.
It was Hannah handing it.
I never recall. I recall that when we would stop the scene, if we finished a scene, Halls is someone who is assumed by his position to be authorized to do nearly everything. So if I was doing a scene with you and we finished the scene, we finished your angle and we were going to turn around and shoot my angle, when they say turning around, that means it's time to go to the bathroom, go get a bottle of water, go get a coffee, go smoke a cigarette. We have a break. And if I was going to go to the bathroom, I'd hand Halls the gun to give to her. I would only hand it to her, or if she wasn't around, if she was away because she'd be at the shop, they clearly hand Halls the gun, they give it to her. Give this to Hannah.
So sometimes you would hand the gun to Halls, but you never, he never handed the gun to you.
No,
Okay.
no,
So
never.
you would hand it to him?
I'd
when
pass it
done.
off to him if she was not on site, and I was gonna run to use the bathroom, I was gonna buy it. But that's very typical. Halls is empowered and authorized to hand him the weapon. He's the only other person to hand the weapon after we were done. After we were done. Whether it was a cold gun with no things, or flash rounds, I'd say, hot gun, hand it to him, or usually not. Because usually it was a hot gun. If it was a hot gun we were gonna shoot, she'd be right nearby.
Okay.
If I hit, because other times we have rubber guns. You gotta think, yeah.
And specifically, right before this incident, Hannah handed you the gun and said, cold. It wasn't Dave.
I don't be cold, no, Hannah handed me the gun.
Okay, it wasn't anybody else but Hannah?
No, Hannah handed me the gun.
And she specifically said.
I believe she said cold, I don't recall exactly.
Where, so this is I'm not that great of a drawer, but this is the church, this is the front where the
You enter here. yeah.
cross
Where the
cross
is.
Where did she hand it, the gun to you? Inside while you were
Oh, yes, because I was seated.
You were,
In other words, this is the scene in the church where you come in and there's a lot of disarray. There's benches tipped over, and here was one bench that was upright and sturdy. Some of the other benches are prop benches, so they can smash easily with explosives. You want the gunfire to have fake benches. They're made of a lighter wood, so they put charges inside. So when you shoot, cinematically, when a guy is shooting a gun and you turn around and see what he's shooting at, you're going to see charges that are buried inside. They put a little material behind, you're going to see boom, 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 these flash. That is a prop bench. There were prop benches around that they were eventually going to put, today we're going to put squibs in to have them blow up, and this was a real bench, a heavy, because if you sat on the prop bench it would break. This was a live bench, and I sat here, and the camera was here, and she was here, and Joel was here.
she being Helena?
Helena.
Okay, and
I'm here on the bench, sitting. I'm right here to the right. I'm all the way to one side. They wanted me to go all the way to that side. And the camera guy was here. He's behind. Hannah was here. Joel was here. Where the other people, I believe that the script woman is always in that corner so she can see the action. And when I shot the gun away from the cameraman, I never aimed against the camera. I turned and I went like this to aim the camera, and she was there, and the gun went off, and she just went right on the ground.
What about the armorer, though? Or was she?
She's outside.
Okay.
she hands
She
you
comes
the gun,
in. She hands me the gun all the time.
and then what?
If there's any shooting involved in the scene, she always hands me the gun.
Never has Dave handed you the gun?
Never.
Okay. And then she goes back outside?
She waits
when you-
outside because she just can't be there, so I didn't want to see. Sometimes in scenes there's reflections, like, you see. So you only need the necessary crew in there for shooting the camera. Everybody else leaves, and as soon as they cut, they come running back in.
Okay. Real quick before she shows you that, the other thing I wanted to know, and it's probably helping she does show you those rounds, have you, in your experience, ever been told that you're not supposed to cock the gun?
No.
No, you're okay
He wanted
to.
me. He wanted me to cock the gun in the
Okay.
scene.
Okay.
He wanted that as part of the scene. He said, "I'm going to take the gun out, turn, and cock it into to the right, my left, to their right of the lens." In other words, if I'm sitting here and you're the camera, we don't talk about my left. We talk about camera right. Camera right. We only talk about the camera. Camera right is my left. So if I'll say to you, "Where do you want me to aim the gun?" They'll say, "Camera right." So I'll aim the gun to my left.
Okay.
So I always aim the gun away, but she was there. And in the rehearsal, he wanted me to pull out the gun and cock the gun. And if you're assuming you have a cold gun, there's no problem.
Right.
And again, a cold gun I'd had, every time we've used guns in this film the last 2 weeks, we never had one problem. Never. Never.
Okay. And I don't, maybe we discussed this when I was going, after the gun was shot, who did you hand the gun to?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I made everybody freaked out.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
It was one of those two people, Halls. I don't really know. I would imagine, well, there's the dummy there. So that's probably a dummy round. And there's no drill in this. That might be a flash round. And as I said,
So flash rounds do not have holes?
well, the flash round has a charge in here,
Okay.
of powder, different sizes, like I said, quarter, half, full load, and a wadding in there to pack it in, it's packed in tightly.
Okay.
So when you hit this pin, it explodes. Now, sometimes it has this material there, if you have the cosmetic feature through the gun and then shoot, but often it has, there's the BBs in there. This is a dummy round. No dummy here, but there's that. My point is that very often when you give me, when she's loaded the gun with rounds for us to go hot and flash and shoot, they've had that creased, folded head, the dumpling head, as we say.
Okay.
They've almost never looked like this for the flash. Only when the camera sees inside the cylinder do you put those in there.
But those are both dummy rounds.
That's a dummy round. And that's a dummy round. That's what they taught me.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert.
I don't know.
Somebody have one of
I'm
mine,
sure you have more experience with dummy
Yeah,
rounds than we do.
I doubt that. I'm sure I always say to my wife, I think I should get a gun. I'm getting a little nervous about the word. My wife was like, no gun with my house. I got 6 kids. I'm 63 years old, and I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and an 8-month-old that we had as a surrogate.
Oh
my
my
daughter.
gosh.
I'm 63 years old, and we had 6 kids in 7 years. So my wife she was born in the U.S. but raised in Spain. She's like, Alec, we will not be having any guns in the house. No. But
Okay.
I believe that's a dummy round.
So you called this a flash round, right?
No. Flash round means there's a charge in there. No charge in there, if you hear that sound.
Okay.
No charge in there, if you see that.
So what happens
So I
when
was
you shoot
told.
these? Or to what you?
You put them in there cosmetically with nothing in them so that through the cylinder you can see that.
Okay.
You can see in the cylinder whether the cylinder is empty,
Or
and they look bad, continuity-wise, or that there's a round in there. So they put a cosmetic round in the chamber. They load the gun, close it, and then I hold the gun. You see the things in there. A flash round would be like what crimped is the word, a
Yeah.
crimped round with a charge inside, and that one shoots, and there's no projectile. I'm really challenged whether they ever see. I doubt, sometimes they have these where you can do both, but that's the clay material. But usually, 99% of the time when we shot a flash round, it was the crimped thing, and you don't see inside the cylinder.
Okay.
So you're the camera, and I'm not pointing where you can see it. I'm off a little bit, and all you see is the flash.
Do you know what would happen if you shot one of these? Have you ever had experience with that?
Nothing.
Nothing happens with them?
There's no charge in them.
Okay.
This
Did you see
indicates.
the bottoms?
Right, well, sometimes they have the pin to create something. I'm just saying, when I look at this, when I go like this, now, by the way, there could be a charge in there. And that charge and those BBs could come out. I don't know enough about it to know whether this rattling indicates that it's an empty, a cold round. That's obviously a cold round, because that's where the gunpowder would be in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cold round. This, I'm assuming, is a cold round, because they go like this to tell themselves it's a cold round. I believe, please don't take my word for it,
Just in your experience.
I'm a father of 6 children, pretty much, that's all I do these days. My experience is those are both cold rounds.
Okay.
And I was told by Halls that when they took the gun away and looked at them, every round inside the gun was a cold round except the one round was not only a hot round, it was a live round, it was a bullet. If you're telling me that that's what came out of his shoulder, there's something really, really scary going on here.
Well, and I think that's what she was
Something really
trying to
bad.
ask, is if any time, well, you said these are cold ones, but the ones that are not cold, the quarter,
Right.
those,
They have the crimped head.
have you ever seen anything like that ever come out on set?
No, it's not possible.
Not possible,
It's
okay.
not possible.
Yeah, they don't have a head. I'm saying these.
They don't have there's no projectile.
There's no projectile, okay. So then, and these shouldn't,
Somebody put a live bullet in the gun.
okay. Because these shouldn't separate or do that either,
No.
okay.
Separate, no, probably.
Like, that shouldn't come out either, when, if it does,
If you did a flash round, that wouldn't be there.
okay.
This is a cosmetic round only.
Right.
I point the gun, that's in the cylinder. When we shoot the gun, 99% of the time, it's a flash round that you don't see the cylinder. You're the camera, and I'm slightly up, so you don't see me on the...
I'm sorry, we keep having you explain that, but it's just because there's different rounds.
Right. I'm saying this is a cosmetic round, to my knowledge,
Mhm.
and if there is, another question for you is there a cosmetic round, is there a flash round that has the head, which I believe they have, where you could shoot into the gun, meaning, if the director wants you to aim the gun at the camera, they put a lucite screen up there, and I shoot the gun at you, you can see the bullets inside there, or they can go to do that with a computer.
Mhm.
But if I put the thing toward you and then shoot, they'll have a round that has this on there that'll explode. But again, I've been told that is a clay material or something that just dissolves on explosion. No projectile comes out. On a flash round, it blows up, that you shoot on camera. Quarter, half, full. There is no projectile unless some material is stuck in the barrel of the gun.
Okay.
And I thought for sure what happened was, did they not check if there was a stone or whatever? Now again, I am speechless. We're here shooting, everything was going fine. Joel is my friend. I'm one of the producers on this movie. We've developed this movie together for 3 years. I left my wife and 6 kids in New York to come here for a month to shoot this movie, and I'm the one that shot the gun today that had a live bullet go through that woman's body and into his body. And I need to know, how did that happen? Where did that bullet come from? There are no live rounds in her kid, I'm told. Everybody is sitting around waiting for me to come here with all the sheriffs and all the people that were there, waiting for us to get ready to come and do this with you. But all they did was talk about that. But it's speculation of, like, in her kit, she doesn't have live rounds.
And that's what we were told. That's what, when we asked her, she said there's no live rounds, not even in her kit, not on set, anywhere. So
for that very reason,
we want to know the same question too. Yeah, how, if there's not supposed to be any live rounds on set,
Then it comes down
how
to
and who
possible manufacturer defect.
or that.
that a cosmetic round shot this projectile through them. Is that possible? Did you find out? I don't know.
It's possible.
Oh, it is. They told you that mechanically if that's possible.
Yes.
I've
So
heard.
sometimes there is a charge in the end of not intentionally, but
A mistake. Today I sit here, and whether it was a misfiring theatrical round or a libel, I shot this woman with a gun today. God, doesn't feel so good, you know.
I can imagine that would not feel good.
I feel really bad, you know, it's like everything was going great. The only problem we had was when these 6 guys wanted to quit. And there, I don't know the jargon, but their, union rep or whatever in the New Mexico contract, different contracts in different states, the person that was in charge of these people and a kind of a pipeline, a lot of shooting going on, a lot of movie for TV work in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, the person was their head person told them, don't strike. It's not, again, we don't want to cripple the indie business and put all of our employees out of work. Our indie contract is set for now. You have a contract you're under. Now we can renegotiate that contract, which no doubt they will. But in the meantime, you have a contract that you agreed to. And those men came, I'm not criticizing them, they came under a contract which they knew what it was. They reported to work, and then halfway through the shooting, they left. They walked off. And I don't, when he said to me, well, my guys are sleeping in my car, the ADs and the producers said to me, well, they're all of a sudden complaining about a contract they've been working on it for quite a while. And some days we wrap, and they shoot nights. Those are tough. The men, the women, they have to go back to their homes and maybe Albuquerque and drive an hour, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
And we try to put the night shooting on the weekend, so when you wake up following day, you're off. And then and then some days we wrap in theory. The day before they walked up the job, we wrapped at 5:45 in the afternoon. We had a very reasonable day. We had a very easy day. 6 o'clock. As I'm driving away with them, and I waved to that guy. The guy said, I want to talk to you, the heavyset guy.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. And I left because I want to get home.
Right.
I want to go call my kids before they go to bed in New York. And yesterday, when I was driving, when I saw him, the sun was still out. We didn't shoot a day like we usually shoot till we lose the light. That's why we're here, to shoot New Mexico.
Yeah.
New Mexico is the star of the
scenery.
movie. Yeah.
Okay. So do you, in your opinion, feel that this could have been an accident? Or do you...
I want to believe that, but let me ask you this, because I don't know anything about this, because it was such mayhem when this happened. Everybody was sick that this happened, because we didn't know. No one imagined. Everyone thought she was hit by wadding or got burned. No one presumed she was shot with a bullet. Any projectile went through her body. No one even considered that wasn't possible. So the question is, the cartridge that came out, the cartridge is when the gun that they fired. Have you got that?
No. So we have to send that. We don't analyze that stuff. We collect it, but then we send it to lab.
But it was collected. You have
it will be.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Is that to me, I'm wondering, what was that? What was in that? The measurement. I don't know anything about that. What are they? What ballistics? How can they measure what was in that? How much of it?
And that'll all be done at the lab.
Yeah. I don't know. All I knew was the gun went off, she hit the floor, he hit the floor, he started screaming. He was in a lot of pain. She went into shock. She didn't talk.
Right.
Her eyes are rolling back in her head. And blah, blah, blah. And bad. And everybody starts getting really, and then they start doing CPR, and everybody gets really panicky. And then people start wondering, what, did something, we assumed, because the wadding can burn you, there's material that can come out under that, very rarely, that could burn you. But remember, that often doesn't happen because there's always a cold gun on the rehearsal. By the time you leave, if the wadding comes out and it hits somebody, they're 20 feet away from you. In a gunfight, the crew is away. You're not shooting anybody, they're the crew. And my point is that when she went down, I thought, what was stuck? We all said the same thing. What was stuck in the barrel? Was something left? They didn't clean the barrel, which they always do, always. And was there a rock or something that went through her body? I didn't know about the passing through her body. I know she was hit. I didn't know where, and I don't know to what extent. But we all presumed, as we're sitting outside, bullshitting for the last 2 hours while this went on, the aftermath, we assumed something was lodged in the barrel, was a projectile that went into her body. Now, when you tell me that's what came out of Joel's shoulder, that's a faulty round, which I've never heard of that before.
Okay.
Never. I've never heard of a theatrical flash round that was loaded into a gun that had a projectile that misfired, and that projectile came out that was a lethal round. Normally, if you're going to have a round that has this on it, it's the material that disintegrates when you fire the gun. Because if you take a flash round with gunpowder in it, whether it's a quarter, half, or full load, and you put a real bullet on, that's called a bullet. That's not a movie bullet. That's a bullet.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I mean, I'm the person that fired the gun. I'm dying to find out how that happened. How did that bullet that caused it end up in her kit?
And again, we're not going to know if it was manufacturer issues or someone did bring a live round until it's been tested and we look at the whole casing and projectile of it. So is there anybody on set that you would think want to cause a disturbance in the filming or have any issues with anybody on set, minus what happened, if you don't think...
No, in the movie business, there are always some whiny people.
Okay.
But not so much so that they want to shoot somebody.
So nothing...
I've never heard of anything like this in my lifetime, ever. I've made 75 movies.
So in the past couple of weeks that you've been on set, there's nobody really...
There's no one I would imagine would be capable of doing something like this.
Nothing that out of the ordinary.
But again, I think it's a critical point to me, which is, if this is a flash round, if there's a flash round, and you have a piece here, this piece has to be a certain type. In other words, if you want, as I've told you before, if you want the shot to go off, and see that the cylinder cosmetically has a round in there, this is not the thing that was in Joel's shoulder.
But, and then I want to come back to this. You said that when the gun went off, you experienced no kick.
Yeah, there was no recoil. There was no recoil, that I remember.
Okay.
I mean, literally, I'm holding the gun, and literally, slowly pull, turn, cock, bang, and as soon as I cock it, bang! And I jumped, I mean, you obviously, that's the last thing you think is going to happen. Everything has been done. Every breath we take is to obviate that possibility. And the gun went off, and all I can think of, as I keep saying, is that I've never heard of a flash round that had a bullet on top, that had a projectile similar to what came out of Joel's shoulder. I've never heard of that in my life, ever. Never. Flash rounds normally have the crimping. If there's a head on there, it's made of a special material. And in this scene, you were to look down the barrel of the gun and shoot. You have to ask them that, by the way. You have to ask, well, both of them are in the hospital now. But was it their intention? Because when I was given the gun, I'm assuming it's a cold gun with nothing in it. When it goes to time to shoot, are they going to see in the barrel that there's a gun there? Very often what they'll do is they'll have you put the cosmetic rounds in. I'll draw the gun up, I'll aim it, they cut. And cinematically they'll cut to the other guy going like this. Then they'll cut back to me with the flash round with no projectile. But what I'm saying to you is a theatrical round, a flash round with a bullet head. I've never heard of that in my life, ever. Never. But that's a bullet. Less of a charge, but that's a bullet. I don't know what to say. I've never heard of this in my life.
What's your date of birth, Alex?
April 3rd, 1958.
Do we have, is there someone that we can contact if we have other questions for you?
My assistant's name is Jonah.
Jonah,
Jonah. His last name is Foxman. They told me that you wanted this correct. Jonah, Foxman, Foxman.
Do you have any other? We have one more here for interview.
What do you want me to do?
You can go wherever.
Well, let me ask you this. Originally, and this is a very complicated, I mean, modest compared to what happened to them, but my wife and my whole family was scared. And on Saturday, my daughter was going to be in the movie. They had a little part for my daughter. The 8-year-old.
Oh,
she was so excited to go. And now the question is, Joel's not going to go back to work for a while.
Right.
I doubt he'll be back to work in a week or two, at that. Who knows what they're going to do? They're going to get the shit suit out of them.
I think his was a shoulder. He might, I don't know, it's up to him how he feels and stuff on
But I'm sure that there are so many insurance issues for them.
There's going to probably be a halt on
They're in a lot of trouble, insurance-wise and civil action-wise. What I'm saying is I told them I would stay here tomorrow. My family's not going to come now.
Okay.
I begged them to come, and my wife wants to cancel the trip. She thinks it's just a weird energy. I told the producers that I would stay tomorrow in case anybody else, their insurance investigators, anybody, their lawyers wanted to talk to me. I'll make myself. And then Saturday, I was going to fly home to New York and just wait for them to tell me what to do. Did you need me to stay here beyond Saturday? I will do whatever you tell me to do.
Okay, so I think, what we need to do, we're going to go and process the scene. If there's anything else that comes up, and that we need to contact you, you said you'll be here till Saturday? Or do you want to fly?
Oh, no, as of now, I'm going to stay tomorrow to make myself available to the insurance investigators and their the production's attorneys.
Yeah.
To make myself available. They've told me they're not sure they need to talk to me. I'm going to stay tomorrow and get on a plane Saturday to go home. And God knows when we're going to come back. It might be months.
Okay. So we can contact you.
Yeah. As long as we have this number and he's not going to change it.
Right, what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to leave on Saturday unless you tell me not to.
You're okay.
If you tell me to come back in, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. But my wife wanted me to come home.
Yeah. So as long as we have a way of contacting you is what we need to do to get a hold of you. Okay. But I think you, unless tomorrow you hear something different from us, because right now we're going to go. We'll interview.
Talk to me again tomorrow. I'll come here right away.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell me what you want.
What's your work cell?
490.
Or your office, sorry.
That one Don't know. I don't use it.
96. Well,
So 2850, 490, 2850 is his work cell.
I'll just put.
So the two of you are not best friends and you go bowling together and go to the movies together now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Very, very close and very close.
That's it. So this is my card. I put her name on the back of that one, but my office is
How do you
that
prefer to be
first one.
contacted? Office?
Oh, let me put because mine's a different,
What's size?
yeah, I don't, my desk phone has issues, so I use my work cell phone all the time. And that's usually the best way to get a hold of me.
Actually true.
And then if I'm not at my desk either.
If I don't hear from you otherwise, I mean, I'll come in tomorrow if you
Yeah.
prefer, but if I don't hear from you otherwise, as of now, I intend to go home on Saturday.
So yeah, and that's fine, because right now, we still have other interviews to do, we gotta go to the scene, process it. The processing at the lab might take longer, so you might even not hear from, if
And there's
you
2
do.
years backlogged right now.
So, our
Would you want to talk to
investigations
me
go long.
remotely?
If it comes to it,
Just tell me
we
what
will
to do.
figure it out at that point, but right
As of now, my
now,
wife wants me to come home.
as of right now, you better listen to your wife and go home.
Okay, are we ready for, I do have some very unfortunate news to tell you.
What?
She didn't make it.
No.
Yeah. So Joel's still at the hospital, but the other person involved didn't make it. Sorry. I just didn't want you to hear it outside of here.
Is there something we could do for you? Is that Jonah in it?
What?
Jonah, the one back there?
Yeah,
Okay. Would you want Jonah in here with you? What do you wanna do? Do you wanna make a call?
you can sit.
We should go.
Are you guys needing a ride, or are you comfortable?
I think they've got their baby.
Are you comfortable driving though?
I want to go call my wife.
Of course, we could even give you privacy.
No, we're going to go.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
opinions, we're going to go.
No, that's fine. Can I get you more water or anything?
Do you want to give you guys a few minutes in here?
I want to go call my wife.
The interview ends with the moment no one in the room wanted to hear. Investigators confirm that Helena Hutchins did not survive. Until then, Baldwin had been answering questions and trying to understand what had happened. From that point forward, the conversation changes completely. There are no more investigative tactics, no more detailed timelines, only the weight of a life lost. Whatever conclusions people reach about this case, this final exchange serves as a reminder that every interrogation involves real people and real consequences, extending far beyond the interview room. If you enjoy in-depth interrogation breakdowns based on evidence, investigative techniques, and behavioral analysis, subscribe to the channel. New interrogation cases are released regularly, and there's always another case file waiting to be opened.